started. So strong set position, heels under hips, soft bend in those knees, roll your shoulders up, back and down, and then hinge from your hips and bring those weights down to your kneecaps, and then come back up again. Good. So soft bend in the knees, the hips come back, the weights come down to the kneecaps. Good. And back up again. Good. So hinging, keeping that back straight and keeping the neck in line with your spine. Good. And the back of the body warming up. So 2 more like that, just to warm that body up, and coming back up again, and down, and lift. Lovely. We're going to do a dead row now. So same movement to start off with, down to the knees, and then wide dead row, pulling the elbows out and coming back down again, and standing. And again. So hinge, bring those elbows out, lower them down, and stand up. Good. 2 more like that. So hinging, squeezing your shoulder blades together, lowering, and standing. And those elbows only need to come up to shoulder height, Tash. You don't have to squeeze them too far back. Good. Down and stand. Lovely. Roll those shoulders up, back and down. And let's do our upright row. It's bringing the weight up to the center of the chest and bringing it back down again. Good. Got my beady eyes on you, Tash, just to make sure we get this locked down this time. Good. So weights coming up. You're almost trying to lift your t-shirt up here. Nice and high and wide with the elbows. Good. The upper back that we're working here. We stop at the bra line. Good. Lovely. 2 more. Lift. Good. And down. And lift. And down. Now we're going to do a combination move of the deadlift, which is down to the knees and stand, and then upright row and down. The hinging, standing back to set position, upright row, and back to the deadlift. Good. 2 more like that. Nice combination move just to warm up the back of the body. Good. And then rolling those shoulders up, back and down. And we're going to come into what is known in yoga as our chair pose. So squeeze your knees together and squeeze your feet together. And then bring those weights close to your body and sink down into chair pose. Just for the first one so we know what chair pose is. Good. And then come back up again. This time we're going to bring those weights out in front of us and then pull them towards you as you stand up. And again. Now we're warming up the shoulders and the front of the body, fronts of the shoulders and the core. And of course, now the glutes and the legs are stabilizing. And that's how we're working the core here, because the core is stabilizing as well. Good. Really push down into the floor, squeeze your knees together. And push those weights together as well. Really good stabilizing exercise, this one. Good. Because the whole body's having to work together here. 2 more. Good. And last one. And stand. Good. Have your feet hip width apart. We're going to stay with the shoulders. Bring those arms down by your side. We're going to hinge and bring those arms out. Bring them back in again and stand up. Let's do those moves together. So hinge and bring those arms up. And then as you stand up, bring the arms up. Good. So this is just nice and efficient. As we've got the light weights in our hands, we might as well do the shoulders. So we're into the workout now. Light weights, working the shoulders, but also utilizing that hip hinge. So hips come back and down, weights come out to the side. Good. And again, sending those hips back and bringing them up. Good. Let's change the tempo now. So let's go into that hip hinge for 1, hold it there, and then come up really slowly. Good. So hinging, stopping, and coming up slowly. Good. 2 more like that. Hinge and stop, come up slowly. So in that stop, we're holding those weights there, shoulders and core are having to work. Good. And then standing up and rolling those shoulders up, back and down. Right, back to set position. The body's going to stay where it is. We're going to bring the weights up in front of us. Fronts of the shoulders this time. We've already worked the backs of the shoulders. So just lifting up, working in that 90-degree angle from by your side to in front of you. Good. Nice. 2 more. And then we're going to change the tempo. Tempo is going to be the same one as we used with the flies. You're going to come up and stop, hold it there, and then go down slowly. And again, come up and stop, keep the body still, and down slowly. Really engage that core as you lift and stop, and come down slowly. Lift and stop, down slowly. 2 more like that. Lift and stop. Last one. Good. Well done. Stop there. Now you're going to come up to, I'm going to come down onto my knees so you can see this 90-degree angle. We're going to do some overhead work with those shoulders. So keeping the elbows are starting at shoulder height, and then they're going up overhead and coming back down again and stopping. I'll show you from the side. Coming up and down. Good. Up and down. Any overhead work will always be beneficial because we don't do overhead stuff very often. So if you can lift your hands over your head at least once a day, pulling things out of cupboards and stuff. Good. Lifting and lowering, and 1 more. Now we're going to change the tempo. So go up for 1, hold it there, and come down slowly and stop. Good. Lift and hold and come down slowly. 2 more. Down slowly. Last one. And down slowly. Well done. Bring those arms down. Shoulders done. Warm up done. Let's work our glutes. So I encourage you to go heavy now. Get your heaviest weight and place it between your hip bones. And hold on to it for safety. I'm going to do all of this with you. I'm on a recovery day today as well. So heels close towards your hips here. The closer they are, the more you're going to work the glutes. The further away those feet are, the more you're going to work hamstrings. I want you to work glutes, so bring your feet close. Head is down on the floor. Tuck your chin and lift those hips up slowly towards the ceiling and then slowly down. Now, because of where those weights are, keep on going. Nice and slowly up and slowly down. Because of where those weights are, it can take a bit of fiddling around just to get them comfortable, and it depends on the shape of them. Plates tend to be the best, but we don't all have plates at home. So whatever you've got, get it into a comfortable position near your hips and hold on to it. Good. So lifting and lowering. Good. Nice and slowly, 2 more at that slow pace. And down, and then slow up and slow down. Good. Now we're going to go up to the top. So go all the way to the top and stop. And then come down slowly. And again, all the way to the top and stop. And down slowly. And again, to the top and stop. And down slowly. Keep going like that. We're putting that hold in the top and coming down again. Good. We're going to use this tempo throughout. Top and stop and down slowly. 4 more like that. To the top and stop, and down slowly. Good. Can you feel it burning yet? Good. 2 more. Top and stop, and down, and 1 more. Top and stop, and down. Good. Let's go 2 and 2. So up for 2 and down for 2. Lots of repetitions here. Lots of movement in those hips, really pushing down into the floor. Good. With those feet, keeping the hips even. Keeping those knees in line with your hips. Good. Up and down. 2 more. And down. And last one. Nice. Now keep your hips down on the ground. I'm going to give your hips a little rest. Bring those weights above your head. Got 1 heavy weight here. We're going to do a tricep extension nice and slowly. So bringing the weight down to your forehead and then lifting. Good. Back down to your forehead and lifting. So people mistakenly think that these are quite small muscles and that we can't load them, but actually they're quite big muscles, and these are our pulling muscles, the triceps. They help the back of the body. Good. So keep those elbows squeezing in. Really align those elbows towards each other like there's a band around them and you can't pull them out. Good. And bringing the weights down to the forehead and back up again. Good. 2 more like that. And last one. Nice. Now stop here with the weights above your head. You're going to bring your hips up and keep them there. And we're going to do tricep extensions just like we did before. So nice and slow down to the forehead and lift. Good. So combination moves, nice and efficient. Remember to keep that discipline of pushing into the floor with the feet and keeping those elbows squeezing together. Good. Upper arm does not move. Elbows are pointing to the sky. Make sure you're breathing. 2 more like that. I can feel a little bit of a wobble in my glutes. That's good. That means the muscles are working. Nice. And then bring that weight down to your belly and bring your hips down to the floor. Good. Now we're going to reverse that move that we just did on the way down. So push away from the floor with the hips and lift the weight at the same time. And then bring that weight down and the hips down. And again, weight up and hips up at the same time. And weight down, hips down. Good. Lifting and lowering. Nice. Weight comes down to the belly. Tuck those elbows tight. This is a tricep press. So we're still working the backs of the arms, but we're also working the glutes. Good. Lifting and lowering. 2 more like that. This is 1. And this is 2. Good. Actually, let's go back up again to that position. So bring your hips up and the weight up. Stop there. Back to the tricep extension. So weight down to forehead. Keep the hips up. Good. And now let's add that tempo. So come down to the forehead and stop. And then drag those weights up. Good. Down to the forehead and stop. And drag the weights up. Oh, my glutes are on fire. Down to the forehead and stop. Straight up. 1 more time. Down and stop. And straight up. Well done. Oof. Bring those weights down to your bellies. And then roll yourselves up. Good job. So glutes done. Triceps done. Let's do our chest. So I want at least 2 medium, maybe 2 heavy weights for this. And we're going to go back to lying on our backs. I'm going to push the boat out today and go a little bit heavier for this. Now we're going to start with chest presses. Now the chest press, so start with those weights above your head. First of all, make sure your core is switched on, so the lower back in contact with the floor as much as possible. And then you're going to bend your elbows and bring those weights out to the side. And then push them back up above you. That's it. So bending those elbows, coming out to the side and pushing those weights back up again. So these are now our pushing muscles. Good. Different muscles to the triceps, which are our pulling muscles. And keeping those wrists neutral and bringing those elbows out to the side. Good. Really bending those elbows and bringing them down to just above the floor and then back up again. Good. We're going nice and heavy here with these tricep presses. Good. 2 more. Sorry, chest presses. Now stop with the weights above your head. I want you to get a feel for what the chest fly feels like with the heavier weights. So this time we're going to have soft lock in the elbows, but the arms stay in the same position, and bring those weights out to the side and back up again. You'll feel it, really feel it in the chest with this one. We're only going to do 4. That's 2. 2 more. Out to the side and back up. And 1 more. And back up. Well done. How was that? If you found that easy, then the weights for your chest press is too light. How was the chest fly?
Yeah, I could have probably done it with heavier weights.
Right, so because we're doing chest presses, I want you to go heavier. So you've got a 5 kilogram there, Tash. If you just hold the 1 5 kilogram, that's great. Have you got your heaviest ones, Pat?
No, I'm on 2.
Go for your heavier ones.
Yeah,
okay. Okay, now Tash, you're just going to bring the weights down and then push back up again. Good. A little bit of tricep work here. Lovely. And Pat's there as well, so that's fine. Good. And pushing away. I want you to really focus on your core here. Good, because of course you know what comes next. Once we acclimatize to this, there you are, Pat. Love it. Once you've acclimatized, you can bring your feet up off the floor. Good. And that means that you start to work your core a bit now. So working the chest, working the core. Don't allow those feet to creep up. Keep the shins parallel to the ground. Good. And pushing. Nice. And pushing. 2 more. And push. Last one. Lovely. And then bring those weights down to the belly. Bring your feet down and roll yourselves up. Oh. Bring those weights down to the floor. I'm going to get you to stand up now. So the chest is pretty much done because we did a lot of that with the tricep presses as well. So we're going to go with the heavier weights again. Now, Tash, what have you got between, you've got 5s, have you got 5s, 2s and 1s, right. Well, just hold on to the 5s. And Pat, I want you to have your 2 heavy ones as well. Good. And so, Pat, you're going to do a narrow dead row. And Tash, I'm going to do it with you. So you're going to hinge down to the knees, holding on to the weight, bringing it back, or you've gone with the 2 5s. That's absolutely fine. Okay. So we're going to go narrow, pulling back and lowering and standing. Good. So hinge down to the knees. We're going to do this nice and slowly. Bring those elbows back, lower and stand up. Good. Hinging, pulling and lowering. This is your upper back you're working here. And just one warning, Tash, about upper back. Once you start building muscles there, your dress size goes up. I can't get size 12s over my shoulders, unfortunately. Down, pull, lower. Amazing. 2 more like that. Hinging, pulling. Amazing. Pat, you're doing amazingly there. It's great. pulling, lowering, and standing. Lovely. Let's have a go at an upright row here. Now, really important you keep those wrists neutral. Push the weights together and lift up through your chest and just lift and lower. We're just going to do 6 at that tempo. Just up and down slowly. Good. 4 more. Lifting and lowering. Good. Good job. 2 more. And the biceps helping a little bit. Last one. Now, as you've both got your heaviest weights, I want you to feel what a deadlift feels like. So coming down to the knees, we do this in the warm-up and back up again. If you want to do one exercise, Tash, during the day, and on the days that you don't come to the class, do this one. Do this one. It works most of the body. Simple, simple training. Just sending those hips back and coming back up again. Hinging and lifting. I think it was 2 weeks after my hip replacement, I was doing this with the 1 kilograms, and I could really feel my glutes the next day. You don't feel it when you're doing it, but you will feel it tomorrow. Good. 2 more. That's 1. I'm going to be a little bit mean to you because now we're going to do that combination move we did in the warm-up. So deadlift and upright row. Lovely. We're just doing 6 of these. Hinge and pull. The finish one move before you start the other. Hinge, come back to set position and pull. Good. Set position so that your core is working. We're halfway there. And then pull. Good. Hinge and pull. And 1 more. Fabulous. Hey, hey. Stopping there. I'm just going to do some bicep curls before we do our core. So single arm bicep curls to start off with. Because we've got the heavier weight, it's worth us just focusing on what we're doing here. Really being mindful about what we're doing. Good form first, and then we add the weight. Just keep that body still. Just doing our hammer curls here. Nice. And you probably feel the, I don't know if you can, feel the triceps on the backs of the arms because we've worked those and they're now the opposing muscles. I can always feel the triceps when I'm doing my bicep curls. Good. 1 more on each side. Nice. Let's go for 4 double-armed bicep curls. So lift and lower. Good. Keeping those wrists neutral. Good. 2 more. Use that core to stabilize. Well done. Beautiful. Let's get rid of those weights safely and come down onto your backs to work our core. So start off with your knees bent and your feet up off the floor. And you can just have your arms out wide. You're going to extend one leg away from you until the foot just hovers above the ground, and then bring it back up again. Extend the other one and bring it back up again. Good. Now keep the core, keep pulling the belly towards the spine. It's like you're trying to pull your ribs and your hips towards each other here. Good. Extending. Have you got a cramp, Pat? Lovely. If it helps, just do the toe tap with the 90-degree angle, right? That's the, for when you get tired or when you get a cramp. Good. Extending. Right. It gets better. Stop here with your knees at that 90-degree angle. and bring your hands onto your knees. Now push into your knees, and then you're going to extend one leg and extend the arm above your head and bring it back and swap over to the other side. There you go, it gets better, I told you. Now keep pushing against the opposite knee. A working core is always going to be hard, and it really is an important thing to do because it's your brakes. You hear about people falling or struggling going downstairs because their core strength is not there. You need your core strength to stop you. Good. Beautiful. Remember, you can always do the toe tap if you need to. You can always revert to that one. 2 more. Last one. Well done. And then hug your knees into your chest. Oh, lovely. Well done. We're into cool down time. Bring your arms out wide. Bring your feet down onto the floor. Keep your knees bent. And just bring your knees over to one side. And stop there. Now the hand that's on the same side can go onto the outside of that thigh. This is actually going to stretch the lower back and into that glute. That's it, Pat. The first one that you went for was the right one. And then come back to center with the hand and the knees. Bring the knees over to the other side, and you can look out in the opposite direction as well. It's a lovely stretch down the side of the body. It feels like that was quite tame, but I'm aware that you guys were lifting much heavier weights. So how was it?
It was a workout, right?
Yeah, good, good. Okay, hug those knees into your chest again and come on up. We're going to stretch our glutes again. So coming into that 90-90 position with those knees, lovely. And then bring your chest over your knee and come down. You might just come onto your elbows. That's stretching your glutes. Hopefully you can feel it in your glutes. Lots of noises from me today, I'm aware. I did a big old workout yesterday, so I'm still quite stiff from that. Try and relax your body into this. You'll feel the muscles stretching. Always worth giving your body a bit of time to feel these stretches and to relax into them. Good. Let's do the other side. Come on up and set up on the other side with both knees at 90 degrees. Lifting up through your chest as you inhale, good. And then coming over that knee, either onto your elbows or maybe you want to come super flat. And take really long inhales here and long exhales, just giving your muscles the time and the space to stretch. And then coming up, we'll get you to come onto your knees facing me and then bring your right foot forwards. We're now in a lunge and you're going to come forwards, stretching the hip flexor, and then come backwards, stretching the hamstrings. I'm going to turn this on its side so you can see. And that lower back getting a stretch as well. Let's swap legs, so other side. And that 90-90 lunge, coming forwards, stretching the hip flexor, and then coming backwards, stretching the hamstring. Starting to stretch that back as well, so a little bit of back here, backs of the knees, and then come up to standing and open your arms wide, stick your chest towards me, so trying to bring your arms behind you. This is to stretch the chest. And then circle those arms and clasp them in front of you and pull away, upper back, getting a nice stretch. You can go wiggling side to side here as well, which is helpful with the shoulders. Open those arms out. One more tricep stretch. So bring the right arm behind you, take a hold of the elbow. You can add a little side bend here if it feels good. And then opening out and doing the other side. So I bought some chickpea flour because I'm now gluten-free, and I've discovered they make amazing pancakes. I've got some protein powder in it, some oats, gluten-free oats, and I've got this chickpea powder, chickpea flour pancake mix in the fridge that I'm going to go and make for myself now. So just roll those shoulders up, back and down. It's going to be my breakfast. Oh, no.